Hello traders, it's Tomek here again. Nikos is still on holidays, so I will do the weekly forecast for you to keep you updated. So the first pair is again Aussie yen, like I described last week. We know that Aussie yen is in this range, and last week we said that still long scenarios are okay to target 200 or area of the resistance level because price bounced on the support level and broke also our trend line, which is here, and is climbing up. So we see that price is going up right now. If we go to the 4-hour chart, we had this opportunity where we said that we would like to see retracement back to the 36 CMA or to the trend line. Yes, we see that we had this trend line. Price didn't touch exactly the trend line. We missed like a couple of pips, but still price touched the 36, bounced and went up again. So we had this opportunity to take the long scenarios. Yes, so in this case we have our setup. And if we check, entry would be here, stop loss below like 75 pips. And if we measure the distance, we will see that the resistance is somewhere about 130, 140 pips. So we see that it's not exactly 2 to 1 like we always want to see, but still it's worth to try, of course with low risk in this case, because we are also in the middle of the range, so it's better to lower the risk. And even if we don't have good, which is still good risk reward, you can still, for example, just manage the pair on the resistance if price really wants to stop here. And we see that price went up right now, bounced on the 12 EMA. It looks like it's trying to go up again. So right now what we can get is another bounce on the 12th, and price will continue to go up. So then we have to look for the lower time frame entries, or if you like, you can start to watch for the 4-hour chart again for the retracement, this time maybe to this trend line with the 36 EMA combination. Yes, and then again the longs combinations, this time with the lower time frames. I wouldn't touch the 4-hour chart right now because it will be too late, too close to the resistance. But after retracement, then go to the lower time frames and try to find the entries there. And if we check the 1-hour chart, if we go to the 1-hour time frame, we see that even here we had the 4-hour chart entry and combinations like we always want to mix. Another setup to jump in, even better risk reward in this case, with small stop loss like 30 pips and win-win scenario. So we had our perfect combination, and right now what we see is another setup but quite steep scenario. Yes, we have this 1-hour chart, steep 1 to 3, so this only with lower time frame. So right now what we would like to get in this case, we can wait for another setup, but in this scenario we will see that if we see another setup on the 1-hour chart, will be really close. Yes, so only 5 minute, 15 minute, because this is our target. If it's too late for you to jump in right now, again we wait for the 4-hour chart retracement, and then we try again to jump in this long trade. If we check on the Renko charts, we will see that on the Renkos it looks more or less the same. Yes, we had this nice opportunity here, price retraced to the 36. If we look for the trend line, this was our trend line, so price didn't reach this line but perfectly bounced on the 36 CMA. We also have this line right now, and we see that the same situation here. Price is bouncing on the 12. We can go to the lower settings, and on the lower settings what we have of course M6 steep long 1 to 3. We can measure like this from this point, or even from this point we have that. And right now, of course, aggressively we could try to take this trade. If not, if you don't want to trade this, again we have to go to the higher settings and wait for the bigger retracement again. CAD CHF, if we check for the weekly chart, we will see that price is still squeezed between this trend line and this trend line. I was hoping to see the price again around this area for potential long bounce entries to target this, to see that price is moving between those two zones, but it looks on the lower time frames that price is going up, so maybe we will not get the touch, but price will continue again and reach the area of this trend line, maybe with the 200 EMA combination, and then will bounce and will go down again. So if we check the daily chart, if we zoom out a little bit, we had this opportunity here. Yes, we discussed this, that price might to go down because we have this short 1 to 3. Price was in the range, so we said that we would like to see breakout, but what we see, price is going up right now. Let me zoom again, and if we try to find the resistance area, we will see that price is breaking or is playing around on the resistance. It really depends how you draw the line. But we see that price was struggling, and we had this big candle, this big move, this clean breakout. So maybe this will trigger a bigger move again here. Even if we have the resistance, we can still try, because it really depends how you draw the line. It's not like that this line is better than this line. Yes, it doesn't work like this. We know that this whole area here between this level, for example, and between this level might be the resistance area. So we can decide, and what we can do, we can easily say, okay, I would like to see that price is really breaking this zone, and then I will start to look for the entries. But in this case, we might get late entry, yes, or even we don't get the setups because price will go straight forward. Like for example here, yes, we had straightforward move. So that's why we can decide. Or right now we can start to look for the long scenarios. So let's go to the 4-hour chart, and what we have. Some attempts of the false breakout. Right now we have the line like this, and we wait right now for the 4-hour chart 1 to 3. Yes, of course we have to remember that this will be aggressive because of the resistance area. Yes, and if we see, okay, price is breaking and is holding this zone, and we'll get confirmation that price might go up, then of course we want to go long. Definitely, if this is a false breakout and price will not continue to go up but will break the line, then of course you can still look for the short entries here. And on the Renko charts we have the same. We see that price was ranging. We said that we would like to see the short scenarios, but right now price is going up. So on the M12, yes, we wait for the retracement, and if the 36 holds, maybe with this trend line, we start to look for the longs. Yes, if we go to the lower settings, it will be a little bit too late to jump in on the M6, so it's better to wait for the M12, and then on this time frame, on this setting or lower setting combination. Euro-yen, another pair. If we look for the weekly chart, what we see here, let me delete this, and what we see, of course, trend line, price bounced here, it's going up, it's breaking our 36 EMA, and it's also breaking this trend line. It looks like we have some volatility, so we might get continuation move, maybe to the previous highs. Yes, this should be definitely our long-term target. Yes, this resistance, like 500 pips away, this should be our long-term target. Price is breaking the line. So if we go to the lower time frames, we also discussed this pair last week. We have this trend line here, and if we zoom out, what we will see is the resistance area here right now. Yes, so definitely price is on the resistance. Another resistance level, clean for me on the weekly, is here. Yes, so this would be our, again, of course, long-term target. But in between, we'll also find a little bit smaller one, but we also have reactions, like here, some also here. So we have those spikes. So we have also resistance zone here. Because price is reaching the resistance, what we might get? Reaction. It doesn't mean that price will, of course, go down. But we had the move. Price move up, broke the trend line, moved like 500 pips almost. Maybe we'll have the retracement, and where we would like to see retracement. Back to the 36, and back to the trend line, or back to the trend line in this case because it's a little bit lower. And if this area holds, then we can start to look for the longs again on the lower time frames to target the resistance, or even on the daily, because this is the first setup after trendline breakout. But then you have to manage the pair if you see that price is struggling here. So right now it's a little bit too late to see the setups. It will be better to get retracement, and even if price decide to break this, yes, will continue to go up, maybe, we don't know, this price will bounce, then of course the retracement, and then long entries again. And on the lower time frames we don't see any retracement back to the 36, so it's really difficult to jump in on this time frame, but we can draw the line. So right now at least we will need to see like this retracement, and then again because this will be aggressive entry on the resistance, lower time frames like 5 minute, 1 minute chart for scalpers. Yes, this is the option. And on the 1 hour chart we don't have nice opportunities here on the 1 hour, so we wait for the 4 hour and then try to attack, or even I personally would wait for the daily retracement and then start to look again for the entries when price will reach this area here. And Euro Yen Renko charts on the M12 looks a little bit better than on the 4 hour chart. More or less 12 settings, it's more or less like a 4 hour chart. What we see here is the trend line, and what we have are clean retracement back to the 36. Yes, so it was easier to, in this case, jump on the Renko charts than on the classic charts. And if we'll see M6, we also have a lot of M6 entries. Here, for example, after this setup, we had like first setup, another setup. Yes, here was also, but a little bit aggressive, and then price again started to make the 1, 2, 3s. Right now we can also combine the this 4 hour, not the 4 hour, but the M12 retracement back to the 36 with M6. But what we need to see is, of course, like here we had the 1, 2, 3, yes, and then we can try aggressively look for the setups, or even on the M3. Yes, if we go to the M3 settings, we had trendline breakout, and what we see here, we had the EMA crossover, and here was our first setup to jump into this long trade. Yes, trend line we have here, so stop loss below the trend line. We had another opportunity here. Yes, so we had some opportunities to jump in, and also here late entry. So we see that in this case Renko chart behaves a little bit better than classic chart. GPN weekly chart, what we see here is support level, and this trend line price was bouncing, right now is going up. Yes, so maybe we'll get reaction on the trend line, or price will break and will go up again to the resistance with the 200 EMA. Yes, we have the resistance here, so price might reach this area again, and we will see, because in between we have this trend line, and this trend line is quite nice. What else we have here? If we zoom out, we will see that price is breaking the resistance area. Right now it's like acting as a support, and we also had this trendline breakout. Yes, so price is still going up, and long-term target, of course, weekly resistance here. And right now we can try to target the trend line and the 600. This still might be like 100, 150 pips. So on the lower time frames we can look for the long scenarios, and we have already the setups. This is our first line. Closer to the price we'll get this line also, at least with 3 touches. What we have is the setup. If we would like to trade this on the 4 hour chart, probably no good risk reward, so we cannot take this directly on the 4 hour chart, but we can start to watch for the lower time frames. Yes, and on the lower time frames, on the 1 hour chart, we need right now some retracements, so 1, 2, 3s, and then we can look for the longs. Again, we can combine this with lower time frames. Yes, 1 hour with the 5 minute or 15 minute time frame. New Zealand dollar yen. As you see, we have a lot of yen pairs, but those are right now are, I think, the best option to trade. So on the New Zealand IN, what we have, still we have the pressure for the short because price is going down. We have lower lows, lower highs, price is below the 36. We had the reaction on the 600 T3 EMA. We see the spike and we see reaction, but our next support is here. So we might have continuation of this move, or a little bit bigger retracement, maybe to the 36 or to the trend line. But previously price was reacting on the EMA, so I'm not sure if price will retrace right now to the 36 or the trend line. On the daily chart, we have this trend line here, yes, and what we have, what we see here is short 1 to 3 right now on the daily chart. Price is still making for us lower lows, lower highs. We are below the 36, so we might still get a little bit higher move. Price will touch this, and maybe will create a short 1-3, and then we can look for the sells. What we see here, price often did false breakouts, so maybe again we'll have the false breakout, and if we have it, if we see breakout, then definitely short scenarios. And for the short entries, you can right now start to look for the sells, or wait for the bigger retracement and start to look for the sells. So right now the pressure is for me for the short scenarios, even if they are late. And what we can do, we can just wait for trendline breakout and then setups. Yes, setups 1, 2, 3 here, or yes, again 1, 2, 3 here, something like this. Yes, and when we go to the Renko chart, it will be exactly the same situation. We see 480 prices making the 1, 2, 3s. We have our 1, 2, 3 here, so we go to the lower settings. Yes, we have M12, we have the trend line. Right now what we would like to see is the trend line breakout and look for the entries on the M12, or of course M6 or M3. It really depends, but we know that of course on the Renkos we need to adjust a little bit the line. This is our line, so we just wait for this. Yes, of course, if price decide to go up, then we will maybe try to adjust our approach. But right now, as long as we are below the trend line and price is making still lower lows, lower highs, we would like to focus on the sells. And the last pair is USDN, which is quite interested because if you look for the monthly chart, we'll see this trend line here. We also have the smaller line here. This is more visible on the weekly, and we have more details. We see nice line. If we unzoom, also this line was really nice. Yes, and price was fighting with this line. So I really was hoping to get another bounce and see this move. But last week we had the breakout. So we also have resistance here, the next area of the resistance on the weekly. Another one is a little bit higher here. So we have the two levels where price might to stop. Because we have the powerful breakout, what we can do, we can start to look for the longs. I was hoping to get the short scenarios after this trendline breakout, but we see we had breakout here. So we wait right now. We can wait for the daily retracement, and then we wait for the longs. And we know the target, so we have to calculate if it's worth to try. If not, of course, lower time frame combinations like always. For our chart, what we see here, we had the first setup to try, which was really good after trendline breakout. This was the perfect example of our scenario entry here. Stop loss like 50-55, win-win scenario. Right now we just wait, and if we miss this, we had another option to try after retracement. Yes, we would like to get another setup, and then we look for the longs. We don't have any trend line right now because this was really steep move, but at least we can try to draw this line, and then we can try to go long again. And if we look for the 1 hour chart, right now we see that price is breaking with the 36. We don't know yet, maybe we'll still go up, but I really prefer to get this bigger retracement after this straightforward 200 pip move. And if we check the Renko chart, we will see exactly the same. Yes, so at least on the M12 we need to see retracement. back to the 36 ideally, and then we can look again for the longs. If we go to the M6, we will see that maybe for the scalpers, yes, if price will bounce and will go up, we had the false breakouts also here, then we can go to the M3 settings and, for example, start to look for M3 123s on the Renkos here for the intraday trading, for the scalping. Still, with this momentum which we have, if price really wants to go long. Of course, we have to remember, guys, that we are still during the holiday season. That's why we don't have too many pairs, too many options. Previous week, most of the times price were in the ranges without volatility. Only yen pair moved, so that's why right now we just wait for the retracement and we prepare for the setup. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching this video, and of course talk to you next week. Bye.